Hello, all of you. I want to thank you all for sticking with me for the last month or so. And it's been fantastic to watch how many viewers I got on this channel. For me, it's a small revolution, so very cool. I like it very much. I thought we're gonna talk a little bit about what you do and when you do it. Yesterday I was completely unable to record anything because the neighbor found out he wanted to do something with a big truck with a shitload of concrete, and they were pouring this stuff, and I was thinking, this is not good for recording. I mean, what kind of noise this made, I cannot describe. It's just rumbling and spitting out this things, but that's life. You can't stop it. So you just have to find another day or another way. So I chose the first one. It was the easiest to find another day. So well, here we are, and it's quite early. So and I was thinking about when you want to record and have fun and do all that kind of stuff, that's okay. But when you start to take clients into your environment and they start paying you for what you do, you better do it right. And you have to... you probably found that already, but the hardest way to go is when you start to get high quality gear, because it brings with it a whole bag of problems that you didn't expect. So probably the more expensive your gear is, the more professional handling it requires. And some of the guys that buy this stuff don't know much about it. They just buy it. So there is a possibility that this will work against what you initially thought it would solve a problem, but actually it creates a whole set of new problems. For instance, if you buy very high-end stuff, you need high-end stuff all the way around, because the weakest link in this chain will always be what you have to refer to as your reference. So let's say you're working with voice and acquire or something like that, and you have 3 very good microphones, and you have I need one more mic here, and then you grab your SM58 or whatever you got laying around, and you maybe use quite good condensers, the 3 remaining, and you find out that you have to lower you have to lower the level, or not the input level, but the performance level with those 3 microphones down to the dynamic microphones operating era. Because you cannot push it the other way around. You cannot push the 58 to perform like the condenser shotgun mics or whatever you're gonna use. That's a very common mistake that people do, and they just chuck in extra microphones. You really have to think before you do that, because if you chuck in a cheap microphone amongst expensive nice stuff, they're gonna ruin your recording. It's as simple as that, because everything that's leaking into this cheap microphone and so forth is gonna make your life a living hell. And there is nothing, and I cannot emphasize this enough, there is nothing that it's called we fix it in the mix. This you try a couple of times and you find out that this is not a quick fix. We have to do it again with the proper setup. If it's just you want to play this for grandma and the rest of the family, I guess it's okay. But if you want to go into the world of releasing things, it's probably gonna haunt you for the rest of your life if you didn't do this properly in the first place. Or maybe you don't care, but most engineers care about what they do, so especially the serious guys. It goes in all kinds of situations. There is no substitute for doing a good job. It's just in the nature of things that we are doing. We need to be at the best we can be at any given time. There is absolutely no forgiveness, because there are so many people relying on what you do. And first of all, you don't want to disappoint yourself. Second of all, it's or not first of all, but first of all, you don't want to disappoint whoever hired you. And you want to make sure that they're satisfied and they return to you as a returning customer. It's very, very important. Mostly for live jobs, in my experience, but it's invaluable what they can. Oops, I just hit the shit here. The word of mouth is worth 10 times more than anything else, because that's what gets you the jobs, and that's what gets you into the community you want to be in. So do a good job and try to put yourself in the performer situation, and what's your life like on the other side of the microphone, on the stage, in the studio, wherever it is. It can be a little tense. So part of your job is to untension that nervousness in the performer and so forth. And if you're nervous, tell them. Tell them that you are nervous as well, because maybe you're not that experienced, maybe you are not able to show them your confidence in what you're doing, etc. This will come in a while. But there's always a first time of doing things, and if you need help, ask for it. I'm a stupid idiot. I didn't do that for years. I had to figure out the hard way. But in that period of time, there was not too many people to ask. We didn't have this medium, for instance, YouTube and things like that, so we had to figure it out ourselves. And the equipment, I can just describe it as, in the good day, it was shitty. But we had to work with whatever we got, so that's another story for another day. But make sure you have the right kit for the job. That's very important. If you can't supply it yourself, take a couple of phones and I'll quite sure that you get the help you need out there. This goes for everything. I mean, from microphones, cables, yeah, stands. That's another chapter. I mean, there's so many bad solutions out there. And don't mistake a lot of mics to make it louder or good sound. The less mics you can use, the better it is, because a stage is a loud place. And unfortunately, in the beginner's world, you will encounter a couple of bands that think they know things a lot better than you do, and you don't get the pro bands in the first place. And to make some of these bands sound good, it's a challenge. I know that, because they don't actually sound good, and they're not tight, and they're playing way too loud. If they've been on the road for a while, the big double Marshall stacks will shrink down to a guitar combo, because they get the better they get, the smaller the equipment gets. It's a proportional idea. Because I don't want to haul it around anymore. I mean, for a double stack with 4 cabinets and shit like that, it takes up a lot of space. And the bass player goes from a big Ampeg rig to a small Ampeg rig, so in the beginning, that's you have a hard time getting these things sounding right. But it's a learning curve, and a big PA doesn't solve that problem. It really doesn't. It's gonna create more problems for you than you ever knew existed. But you have to do it, so there's no way around this. This is where you end up in the beginning. And when you get into the corporate world, you'll see what's going on there, and that's very, very structured thing. So you have to deal with schematics and full of a plan, and it's down to the second often. That never works, but well, just smile and say yes. It's the easiest way to do it, and then things are happening and it's rolling. So if the sound is perfect, then everything is perfect. Even the picture can go down and on the screens and everything, but the sound has to be good. You can feel if you have the right volume, the right sound, and do not play too loud. That's a very, very big mistake. Find the level that suits the place. Usually around 95 dB, it's more than enough for this kind of jobs. But if you don't get the attention on the stage, which you usually do in this kind of events, then you probably want to look into it. The conference thing is it can be quite difficult, so pay attention and take it seriously. I was thinking maybe we should look a little bit about the mic placement, but I think you had enough already, so I think you better grab your mic and get out there and do something.